Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back. Oh boy. For those of you who may not know, there was actually some really big news that dropped overnight, and I will have the link in the description. But long story short, Dragon Ball is back. And by that I mean we are getting, for the first time in a long time, a new series. Uh, it, in July, apparently. So this is something that's actually been in the works. I had wondered if this might happen based on something, but first let's get the details going. This is going to take place shortly after the events of Fukatsu no F, Resurrection F. Goku's going to be trying to finally maintain the peace that they've managed to acquire. Seems all threats are off the horizon, but it turns out that's not the case. Now, it's going to be called Dragon Ball Cho or Dragon Ball Super. I'm not sure. Uh, I'm not sure if it's canon or not. They haven't really said. I'm assuming it probably is, though, simply because um, Toriyama actually completely drew out the plot. So it sounds like we're not getting like a long series, probably a limited number of episodes, maybe 12 to 26. I don't know. But I don't think we're going to be getting a super long drawn out series, especially considering they only have so much time to work with. Um, but definitely appears we're getting a new series. Toriyama has done the plot. Fuji TV producer Osamu Nozaki said that he got the plot from Toriyama and he really loves it and says that an enemy even stronger than Buu or Frieza is on the horizon. So we're dealing with someone who is potentially far stronger than Majin Buu and Frieza in this movie, and there's going to be a lot of debate as to who that is. I, for one, prefer not to speculate. I know a lot of people are going to try to say that, oh, we're going to see the other universes, or, oh, Demigra from Xenoverse is going to be canon, which will then in turn make Xenoverse canon, and no, it really won't, but I won't go into that or anything else. Honestly, at this point, I think it's best to wait until we hear details rather than decide what the series is going to be. Because honestly, that's what's been disappointing a lot of people about Dragon Ball as of late, the last two movies. It wasn't that they were bad movies, because they're really not. It's a case of it's not what we convinced ourselves those movies should be. And, we have convinced ourselves that certain events have to happen in those movies. And if they didn't happen, then we decided they were crap. And that's simply not the case. Um, Now, Toriyama is definitely credited as the original creator of this series, as well as for original story and character concepts, which roughly translates to he created the source material. Um, um, I know a lot of people are also going to be worried about the animation in terms of Toei hasn't exactly been the most stellar studio as of late. But they have been making a lot of money off the Dragon Ball stuff as of late, so they may put a little bit more than usual into it at least. So, who knows? Personally, I'm just a little bit worried about a couple things, but I'm also really excited. I want to tackle the worries first because I want to end this on a high note. I'm a little worried because, realistically speaking, one reason that a lot of people like Fukatsu no F and actually are enjoying it is they found a way to make characters relevant again. And what I mean by that is that basically, for the longest time, all throughout the Buu saga, a lot of the non-Saiyan characters were really irrelevant. They were relegated or regulated to non-combat roles. They could take people where they needed to go, and they could help teach them. They could have their little heroic moments here and there, but in the end, they couldn't do jack squat in terms of fighting. Now, one thing that I think Toriyama did kind of learn over time is that, you do kind of need to keep your side characters in the mix. I think it's also something that he's learned after he's been kind of sitting on the sidelines and observing for a long time, and I know he's friends with Oda, and he's spoken to him a lot, and I know that he apparently reads One Piece, and one reason that One Piece is so popular is they managed to keep the entire crew involved in some way, shape, or form, and they do usually wind up getting fights. And so when he did this movie, this newest movie, he actually gave everyone something to do, and I'm talking combat-wise. Now, granted, everybody doesn't always have to be fighting all the time, but it is nice to see every character that you can, give something to give them moments to shine. And we got that. And it was really nice. It honestly was. But at the same time, I mean, with Goku and Vegeta at the level they're at in this movie, Goku and Vegeta being, basically gods, Gohan having been the closest to them, and even he's, like, only a Super Saiyan now, apparently, because he hasn't been training. Still very powerful incarnation of one, but his awakened potential has apparently gone dormant. Piccolo, even he's only been able to get so strong. And then you got Krillin, you got Tien, you got Roshi. Tien and Roshi, honestly, I don't know if you're going to be able to do a whole lot with. Krillin, you theoretically could, but even then, and Piccolo too, it's just, I don't really see them having a whole lot to do. And one of the reasons GT actually was not as popular as it could have been is it literally became all about the Saiyans, and then eventually only about a select couple Saiyans, and then basically in the end all about Goku again. And I mean all about, as in basically he was the only one with any kind of fighting presence. And really there were only a handful of characters with any kind of presence at all. The rest were literally just cameos. I mean, even Vegeta, for the most part, until the final arc was okay, not the final arc, but I mean, okay. Vegeta as Vegeta was mostly a cameo character until the final arc. There we go, because, the whole baby thing happened. But, realistically speaking, yeah, I don't know how they're going to be able to keep everyone relevant. I'd like to see them find a way. Maybe they'll all pick up their training again. Maybe the elder Kaioshin can give them a boost again. I don't know. But I really do worry about that. But in the end, I kind of can't help but wonder. One of the reasons I think that the Dragon Ball movies have done so well, too, including Battle of Gods, is they have something that's really lacking in a lot of anime today. And what I mean by that is that even when you look at like your shonen stuff, your battle shonen, by and large, one of the big problems is they try to be way too serious. One Piece is about the only one that I've seen that hasn't fallen into that pit in terms of, trying to be all super serious and, deeper meaning and, the world is doomed and, we barely managed to pull it off and, oh, my people were all slaughtered. Well, my people were all slaughtered too. Let's cry together. Okay. That kind of crap. Naruto. But anyway, I see it a lot. And, a lot of it's trying to, get into this really grim and dark scenario, and it's just getting so repetitive. Anime has become all about the edge, and I mean, there are people who are outright saying, oh, this series is amazing because no one is safe, and that's stupid. I mean, realistically speaking, all you got there is a Final Destination scenario. By that logic, those movies are incredible, even though they're incredibly mediocre films, if not outright bad in some cases. In that case, the series Another was an amazing anime, even though it's actually really convoluted and stupid, and a lot of stuff's never really explained. But if you're into gore and random death, there you go, which apparently a lot of people seem to be. But I think that's part of the problem with the state of anime today, is that anime and manga is that they forgot how to have fun, you know. And that's one thing about Toriyama, is that even when things got super serious, he still managed to have these characters find ways to have fun, unless and until they were required to seriously knuckle down and have a very serious scenario. But such as final fights, climaxes, etc., which is really where that belongs. When you try to keep basically every arc like that, though, when you try to keep every part of every arc like that, you don't really have a good contrast. You don't have the feeling that, oh, this is supposed to be super serious. It just becomes formulaic. And really, the last thing you need is for your shonen series to become formulaic, because that's one of the top complaints about it. And I know a lot of people like to say, oh, Dragon Ball is very formulaic. It's actually really not. That's the thing. Um, I've laid this out so many times, but all these people keep saying that every Dragon Ball arc follows the exact same formula, and it really does not even close. The only thing that followed the same formula was, up until recently, the movies, and it's just not the case. But I mean, Dragon Ball, when you're going through the story arc, you have your serious moments, but you also have your really ridiculous and kind of funny, out of left field moments, and some goofy stuff, and these characters are all a bit wacky, and that's because in his heart, Toriyama's a comedian, a comedy writer, and that shines through in pretty much everything he does. But at the same time, that also sets up a really nice contrast for when things do get really serious, like when Frieza takes his final form and basically just begins slaughtering everybody, and when Goku steps into the fight and his desperation, and then when he becomes the Super Saiyan. I mean, even before he, got the Super Saiyan form, it looked like Frieza was beaten, and everybody had this little moment, and they're all laughing, and it looked like your stereotypical anime story arc ending, and then all of a sudden it goes from laughing to absolute terror when they look up and see a very angry Frieza standing over them, and he just proceeds to shoot Piccolo right through the chest, rip Krillin apart from the inside out, then threaten Goku's son, and Goku is standing there so beaten that he's barely even able to move, and the fact that he feels so helpless, and he's watching his friends die, and his son's just been threatened, and these people did nothing to him, and he just it and his best friend, who he grew up with the guy, he was his closest friend, and all for nothing. I mean, he wasn't even a threat to him. He watched him get ripped apart from the inside out, and so far as he knows, he can't come back. And that threw him into that rage. And I mean, the contrast there, just how it goes from so happy and it's all finally over, to, oh my God, things are just, that is something that set up a nice contrast, and that is something that Dragon Ball did very well, and it's something that I think has been missing for so long, is the heart, the joy of these things, the fun hasn't been present for quite a while. It just kind of faded away. I mean, even contrast Naruto Part 1 with what Shippuden became, and you can see the shift. I just think this could be the kick in the pants everyone needed. Maybe they needed to be reminded what it means to have fun. I don't know. At any rate, guys, that's it for now. I'm gonna leave the links in the description. I got a couple sources here in case you want to doubt the one. So yeah. At any rate, I will catch you guys another time. Let me know what you think below. Are you expecting anything? Are you going to keep your expectations tampered so that, there's less disappointment when you find out what is or is not going to be there? Do you think this is going to be a long series, shorter series? Um, are you excited? Are you upset? Let me know. This should make for an interesting discussion. See ya.